And this week's quote comes from one of the most famous founders of the country, Benjamin Franklin, who said this: "Beware of little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship." Yeah,
Mm.
that's right. I mean, if you have that small leak, chances are it may go unnoticed at first, but then as time goes on, that's gonna sink that ship.
Matt, I see so many people that I meet with that have so many small leaks. And Ben Franklin was absolutely correct in saying that small leaks can sink even a mighty ship. Okay. It highlights the idea that seemingly minor, insignificant expenses can accumulate over time and cause significant financial harm. So when we talk about retirement planning, this means that small unnecessary costs can gradually erode your savings, which can potentially jeopardize your financial security when you're going to need that money the most in retirement. So if we talk about in terms of retirement planning, let's look at the compound impact. Those small reoccurring expenses can add up over the years, and if those leaks aren't addressed, they can reduce the amount of money that you have available to invest or save for retirement. And over time, the impact of those expenses can compound, which leads to a much smaller retirement nest egg than you originally had anticipated. There's also this thing that's called opportunity cost. Money spent on unnecessary small expenses could have been invested into retirement accounts where it could grow over time. And even a small amount saved and invested regularly can accumulate because of the power of compound interest. So then there's another thing that's called budget discipline, and being mindful of small expenses helps instill really good financial habits, ensuring that you maintain the discipline in your retirement planning. Okay. It encourages regular review and adjustments of your budget in order to prevent financial leakage. And so there are some common types of leaks in retirement, and I want to give you probably the three most common. All right. The first one, folks, is our subscription services. So if you're paying for multiple streaming services, you're paying for gym memberships or other subscription based services that are underutilized, then you need to regularly review those subscriptions and cancel those that you don't use often enough or could possibly do without. Even saving $10 to $20 a month on a subscription can make a difference when you're talking about carrying that monthly savings over decades in retirement. So that's the first one that's pretty easy to fix. The second one is credit card interest. Okay. Carrying a balance on your credit card and paying those high interest rates, which can be a significant drag on your finances. Well, the fix there is just focus on paying off credit card debt as quickly as possible to avoid the high interest payments that could otherwise be saved or invested for the future. And obviously, by paying the statement balance each and every single month, that will eradicate any unnecessary interest payments. Okay. And the third, and this one I'm guilty of even still today, and I think almost everybody is, are those impulse purchases, regularly buying items just on a whim, like daily coffee runs or unnecessary gadgets or going out to eat really frequently. That's mine. Okay. The fix there is to create and stick to a spending plan that does account for discretionary spending, and then consider redirecting some of those funds into your retirement savings. So by plugging all of those leaks, you can ensure that most of your money is working towards securing a comfortable retirement, as opposed to being lost to small avoidable leaks or expenses.
Yeah, though that really hits home, especially a couple of those points there for me, Mike. The whole the eating out thing, that is just a kind of a guilty pleasure, and it's easier a lot of times to just, oh, let's go down the street to whatever restaurant than try to cook at home. But cooking at home a lot more cost effective. And then the other thing are those subscriptions. I mean, you can sign up for something and then just literally forget that that's automatically coming out of your
Yep.
checking account, or God forbid, going on the credit card. And then that's, sitting there as part of that balance that's being carried over month to month, and the interest is compounding. Like, it's just very, can be a very dangerous thing.
It can. One of my guilty pleasures, the wife and I, my wife's she's the director of music at a local Christian school. And so she goes to bed much earlier than I do because she gets up much earlier than I do. So one of our things that we like to do is after dinner, we'll watch an hour or two of television together. It's kind of our thing, right? Then she goes to bed and I either go back into the office or I flip it to, something else that I want to watch. But as I'm scrolling through all of our options, we've got Max, we've got Netflix, we've got Amazon Video, we've got Hulu, we've got Apple TV, and I start looking at all these stuff. I'm like, how much is all this costing me on a monthly basis? So, besides eating out, those subscriptions hit home for me as well.
Yeah, and it's easy to just have several of them that just really add up